Friday! I'm Damien Ross. That's Matt Mascardi. February 7th, 2020. Matt.
Hey, how are you, Damien?
I'm Biz Nuggety.
That's right. We do have a busy. We're not even going to do an agenda right now, right? Because we're just going with a giant, ridiculous pile of business nuggets.
Yeah, we were told by a very high level industry professional just to get into it. So that's what we're trying this week. We're getting into it. Let's get into Biz Nuggets.
If there's anybody listening out there, we're doing this for you. So give us feedback, please.
Yeah.
Here's your Biz Nuggets muted. Feel free to hit it.
You want to go?
I mean,
let's say at the end.
There's so much to cover.
All right, let's just. You can give all your weird thank yous and everything at the end. We'll just go for it.
Just subscribe and rate us. This is Biz Nuggets. Just do that.
No, I said at the end.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Here we go. Biz Nuggets time. We got 6 big piles of nuggets today. I broke them up into 6 categories: coronavirus, big data, wars, ESG, villains, and say what now? So let's go. Coronavirus, Biz Nuggets. Let's do it. All right, Matt.
Feeling a little viral. Go ahead.
More people are stuck at home in China as they wait out the coronavirus outbreak, giving some delivery and e-commerce companies an opportunity. In particular, people are buying more groceries online. Oh, they're hungry? Hey, Matt, someone should look into food delivery as a business idea, like delivering pizzas or something. What do you think?
I cannot believe Zoom went out of business before this happened. Zoom being that robot delivery pizza service that SoftBank was invested in that folded like so much WeWork.
Apple supplier Foxconn has built its own production line for surgical masks because, of course, in an aggressive push to restart production next Monday. Okay, I just feel scared and rotten now. Thanks, Steve Jobs.
Does every iPhone now come with a free face mask?
Do you know? Here's 2 twists.
Do you know? Do you know if coronavirus is part of like the iPhone unboxing experience now? Like when you unbox it, is it full of corona? Is that what happens?
I mean, is it like part of the bloatware app, or do you have to get it from the App Store? I don't know. That's a good question. All right, two headline twists here about coronavirus. First, the L'Oreal CEO says coronavirus will hamper sales in coming weeks because who needs makeup, right? I'm stuck at home and nobody wants to flirt with me. But
except for the delivery guy.
But the Uber CEO says that the coronavirus outbreak is not material in any way to its overall portfolio of businesses. So people are stuck at home not wearing makeup, and they're also taking Ubers, Matt. Which CEO is lying?
All of them. Do we have a corner in which they lie?
Hundreds of millions of chickens at risk of being wiped out with much of China locked down due to the virus. Hundreds of millions of chickens.
This is cool because I think this is China has its own Beyond Meat startup called Zhenmeat. Did you know this?
Yes.
Zhenmeat. I think this is the Zhenmeat moment. Like this is
yes.
Zhenmeat is to Beyond Meat what Luckin is to Starbucks. I think this is the moment.
Where's my Biz Nuggets music? I never hear it.
Oh, well, I'm bringing it back up for you. Here you go.
Frustration grows in China as face masks compromise facial recognition. Okay, all right, Matt. I'm going to slow down here. All of this is just shocking to me. I have to thank you personally, coronavirus, for this because I had no idea about this. And here's what I learned. Facial recognition as a technology is essential to daily life in China. It does things like opening cell phones, opening people's doors to their condominiums, opening bank accounts. It helps with things like ordering fast food meals, scheduling medical appointments, and boarding planes. And Matt, facial recognition in China is even used in restrooms to prevent an occupant from taking too much toilet paper. I'm serious. Did you know any of this? I had no idea.
I mean, I knew facial recognition software is a massive industry in China and actually throughout Asia.
dog you.
I thought it was about like it's all about the government tracking every move. I didn't realize they were
Sure.
saving toilet paper. This is a
Of course
sustainability issue now.
Of course, that's the underlying effect, right? I didn't even see it as that. You're right, Matt. It's genius.
It is. I like this is actually a bigger deal, mostly because I would suggest to everyone stuck in China, stuck at home right now, wipe as much as you want for as long as you want.
But I don't understand if the camera's reading your butt, right, in the restroom. What does it matter if you have a face mask over it? I just don't get that one. All right. Finally, our last coronavirus news: a Carnival-owned cruise line placed almost 4,000 passengers and crew under a 2-week mandatory quarantine after some have found to have contracted coronavirus. So here's my question to you, Matt. Should they be paying for another cruise?
I think they should just all go to Macau, where the casinos are still open, even though...
No, you're wrong. Actually, Macau is being told to close the casinos. The virus is that big that they even don't want all the slimy, greasy-handed gamblers in there.
Are you telling me I will be able to get an iPhone with a face mask embedded in it, but I can't go gamble at a casino? This is an outrage.
Well, word to you, Matt. You can gamble on your phone now. So
this apocalypse sucks. I'm going on record right now.
Let's move on to big data.
Woo! Big data.
You're going to have to help me with the first one. Twitter has taken down meme sharing accounts created by snack brand Planters for the arrival of its new mascot, BabyNut, which debuted during the Super Bowl. This is all real. This is not from The Onion. The accounts taken down by Twitter were called BabyNut Baby, BabyNut Memes, and BabyNut LOL. So I don't follow this one. Nancy Pelosi deepfakes are okay, but BabyNut LOL is not. So help me through this one.
I mean, you are one pluralization away from baby nuts, which is not
that's
great.
It. It's just like mind in the gutter.
I think that's it.
This is how social media regulates itself.
Apparently, we don't mind if we deep fake, Nancy Pelosi. Although I will say, 96%. I read this the other day. 96% of deep fakes are porn. So I think we do mind deep fake porn, but I guess maybe baby nuts and deep fake porn are just hand in hand.
Yeah, and in a story I'm not reporting on, yesterday there were reports that somebody killed themselves on Facebook Live, but Twitter's taking down BabyNut LOL. So
wow, you just brought that to a dark place.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying. All right, Google apologized for accidentally sending some users' private videos to strangers. So thanks for apologizing, Google.
We need like a term for that. We need to say like, oh shit, we just Facebooked, or like we need like there needs to be an epithet involved with that.
Also, I don't think it should be called apologizing anymore. It should be more like press releasing.
That's actually true.
Google's Chrome browser will stop showing ads on sites that have a disruptive video ads based on a new set of standards released by the Coalition for Better Ads, of which Google is a board member. So wait, aren't they basically Google's ads? Are we supposed to be grateful, Google?
I'm more serious. I'm more confused about like the series of policy, like disruptive, quote unquote.
I know.
That's like it's Twitter's like quote serious harm, right?
Yeah.
And
the same. Yeah.
And Facebook is like their version of quote truth. It's like these policies are like really bizarre.
Self-regulation brought to you by tech. On the same note, all Google phones will now screen robocalls. So wait. So aren't these the robocalls essentially coming from the data that you're collecting from us in the first place? So once again, Google, we're supposed to be grateful at.
Well, these robocalls are disruptive. So.
Right. Okay. So. Amazon, in our last story in Big Data, Amazon plans to hire more than 15,000 people and build a 43-story tower in the Seattle suburb of Bellevue. The tower is referred to as Bellevue 600. Little background information here. As the country's first public hospital, Bellevue in New York City has acquired quite the reputation in its 3 centuries of existence. It first earned notoriety for its psychiatric facilities, home to New York City's mentally ill in a time when they were simply called crazy, demented, or freaks. So there you go, Belleville 600.
Well, This
Belleville.
is
Bellevue.
honestly, doesn't this like argue against the whole HQ2 thing or H2Q? What do they call it? HQ2. That's what it was. Because they were just going to do whatever they wanted anyway. It was all a big marketing ploy to get some subsidies.
How about this? The best of America these days seems to be, an online website where you just click something and buy it, and that warrants a 43-story tower. Anyway, wars. Let's go to wars.
That's worth some music.
I want to hear some music. President Donald Trump ordered the Department.
When you yell that, it's just terrible.
Ordered the Department of Defense to roll back restrictions on the use of landmines. So landmines and coronavirus. Thanks, Obama.
Can we agree that as tech makes fake policies, Trump rolls back policies? What's the point of policies anymore? What do we even have them for?
But seriously, rolling back the restrictions on the use of landmines.
Do we need...
U.S. Attorney General William Barr said America should take controlling stakes in Nokia and Ericsson to blunt Chinese firm Huawei's drive to domination. So wait a minute, I thought you guys hated Bernie. I don't really understand this one.
I didn't know Nokia was still a thing. This is a different variation on our show. Still a thing and not a thing. Does anybody still have a Nokia phone? Where is that a thing?
I just love this right-wing socialism. I love it.
I love knowing that I can get my candy bar phone from 2001 still.
Huawei is suing Verizon for patent infringement, something that happens every day, everywhere in these worlds. Verizon is claiming the lawsuit is a, quote, sneak attack on our company and our nation.
Boom!
Nice one, Verizon. I'm guessing that Verizon just finished watching Rocky IV.
Is a left jab to our company. Sneak attack?
Those are for our listeners over the age of 40.
I like honestly. I do like the warring metaphors, like a sneak attack. They've been reading a lot of Sun Tzu recently. Is that how that works?
Well, I love Verizon playing the Zuckerberg playbook there, where if things are kind of getting screwed up and you're in trouble, you just be like, well, what about China? Lastly, the streaming wars. We haven't talked about the streaming wars in a while. Netflix now lets you turn off autoplay previews. Can you believe this is news?
Where is this news?
Yeah, believe me, it's all over. This is actually one of the most trending stories. Netflix now lets you turn off autoplay previews. And then the other bit of streaming wars, Viacom CBS to launch new streaming service blending CBS All Access with Paramount Films, Viacom and Viacom channels. Once again, Matt, can you believe this is news?
Can I? That news makes me want to flip a table over and walk out of the room like a Thanksgiving, because honestly, do we need more streaming services? We're just give me. I just want cable. I've said it so many times. Just give me a box that fixes this all for me.
Is this why your wife is Googling how to bolt down your kitchen table?
This is why we did a renovation.
ESG Biz Nuggets.
ESG Nuggets.
I got some ESG Biz Nuggets. First of all, Goldman Sachs' diversity pledge, which it pledges to not invest in companies that don't have a woman on board, right? This pledge will not apply to boards in Asia and will not apply to boards in Latin America and the Middle East. So what the hell, Goldman Sachs? That's just weak.
I got a quick stat alert
Goldman
here.
Sachs.
A quick stat alert, because I saw this story. You want to know the country with the fewest women on boards that has at least 100 large cap companies in it?
I mean, I'm guessing it's like Japan.
It is Korea.
Korea, okay.
80% of their boards have 0 women on them.
So it's a toothless policy, Goldman Sachs.
0. You know who follows closely? Japan,
Mexico?
Taiwan, and China. Guess where all of those countries are?
I don't have to guess. I know.
Do you need to know? Do we need to go over this? Thank you, Goldman, for doing nothing.
GM resurrecting Hummer as an all-electric super truck. Just like that Goldman Sachs story, I'm just sort of embarrassed. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
This is This is proof that Elon Musk is a genius because he actually got GM to make their own RoboCop truck.
Yeah, this is where ESG jumps the shark.
This is where
electric Hummers.
This is where the shark jumps in a giant electric Hummer and drives away.
Sky TV, the European cable network, has pledged to go net carbon by 2030 by cutting the emissions created by its customers, employees, and suppliers. First of all, Matt, cutting the emissions of its customers? So binge watching Stranger Things doesn't do good for the planet? I'm kind of confused by that one.
Yeah.
Britain last year passed a law targeting net zero emissions by 2050. So I gotta ask you this, not to slow down Biz Nuggets, but 2050. It took us less than a decade to put a man on the moon. It's gonna take them 30 years to figure this out. 30 years.
It took China 10 days to build a coronavirus hospital.
Thank you. Exactly. Finally, in ESG Biz Nuggets, Nike will be dressing 2020 Olympic athletes in uniforms and sneakers made out of recycled polyester and ground up shoe parts. Okay, Nike, so you're proving you're smart. So why don't you just do this for everything else? What are you waiting for?
Yeah, why are we doing this for just that?
I know. I don't get this one.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations, Nike. All right, let's move on to corporate villains. One of the original corporate villains in the ESG sector, at least, was Bernie Ebbers, the ex-WorldCom CEO. Ebbers was sentenced to 25 years in prison after WorldCom collapsed, representing one of the biggest bankruptcy in the U.S. at the time. It collapsed following revelations of an $11 billion accounting fraud. So there you go, Bernie Ebbers dead. Other corporate villains, the U.S. Federal Reserve has permanently barred former Goldman Sachs executive Andrea Vela from the banking industry over his role in Malaysia's 1MDB corruption scandal. So here's a note to bank HR departments. Don't hire former Goldman Sachs executives. Is that the main
that's not fair.
No, is that not what they're saying?
They are saying they aren't going to add any women to boards in Malaysia, though.
And finally, Credit Suisse CEO, sorry if I'm going to butcher your name, Tidjane Thiam is stepping down. Thiam said he was proud of what his team had accomplished during his tenure. The news follows a drawn-out spying scandal at the bank. Spying targets included Credit Suisse's former head of wealth management, Credit Suisse's former head of human resources, and Greenpeace. So yeah, I can understand the pride.
Those all seem somehow related. Like whenever I think of Greenpeace, I do tend to naturally think Credit Suisse's head of asset management.
All right, let's wrap up Biz Nuggets. I have one more category. It's called Say What Now.
What?
Yeah, let's hear some music. How about this in just stupid headlining writing? I just like this. I love this kind of I just love the way, I just love scaring people. If Bernie Sanders wins Iowa Monday and gains momentum, that would spook the stock market.
Oh, well, notice the language between when it was Elizabeth Warren in the lead, it was a 25% drop. It was precise, the stock market will lose 25 to 33% of its value. And then it's a white male, and we might be a little afraid of that.
Well, he is Jewish, so, give CNBC a break.
So he's got that working for him or against him? I'm not sure.
Yeah. Number two, and Say What Now? Bosch. Bosch, the ones that make your dishwasher. Bosch. Bosch gets smart glasses right with tiny eyeball lasers. A tiny laser array paints images directly onto your retina.
Say what?
Yeah, this is from Bosch. Here we go, world. Here we go.
Does that help my dishes get cleaner?
I don't know. I don't. This one disturbs me. I don't like that one. Up next, Say What Now? Amazon had to pay federal income taxes for the first time since 2016. That one just boggles my mind.
What?
Yeah.
They pay income taxes.
Finally, in our big bag of delicious Biz Nuggets, let's end with meatless meat, Matt. The Center for Consumer Freedom. That's a great name, right? The Center for Consumer Freedom.
Can we just stop the story there? Say what?
Yeah. Ran a Super Bowl commercial alleging that plant-based meats contain a chemical laxative Okay. The Center for Consumer Freedom donors include tobacco, meat, casinos, alcohol, fast food. Initial funding came from Philip Morris.
I like that alcohol funded an ad that said something else makes you shit.
The Center for Consumer Freedom describes itself as dedicated to protecting consumer choices and promoting common sense. So there you go. This is how we're fighting the science behind plant-based meats. We're just gonna throw out a bunch of stupid lies.
I have been reading the Tri-State, Longhorn magazine.
Yeah, what is that? The Livestock
Livestock
Express
Weekly,
Illustrated?
and Dr. James Stengel. I think he's running Super Bowl ads now. Congratulations on surviving another Biz Nuggets, because this is hard for you.
Here's what I learned. Don't hire Goldman Sachs executives, and eating Beyond Meat burgers will make you crap yourself. That's all I got, Matt.
Thank you for listening. I am Matt Muscardi. That is Damian Rallis. We are Free Float Media. This was Business Pants in our big bag of Biz Nuggets. If you like what you heard on Business Pants, subscribe and share and do all the things that you do. It's a podcast, it's a video, it's a live stream, it's on YouTube. We're everywhere, so share us, tell somebody. Also, if you like what you heard, subscribe to our other show, The Market Medium.
Market Medium.
Where I am the am I the main host of that? I guess I'm the main host. I am the host. The Market Medium. We will have more stories on ESG, stakeholders. We're getting behind markets and looking at the humans. All of that, these shows are brought to you by Free Float Media, who includes the two Courtneys, our executive producers, Dan Rogachnik, our advisor-in-chief, John Walsh makes our beautiful, wonderful art, Todd Hovanek and the Asset Clowns bringing you this wonderful music. Most of all, we can't do it without you. So feel free to subscribe. Do that. Stop what you're doing right now. Hit stop on this thing. Send this to a friend and tell them to subscribe after you subscribe. That's all I got.
That's good enough. Talk to you next week, man.